Everything about the Nancy Guthrie case is unprecedented. I told you many times I've never covered anything like this. And the abduction of a senior citizen, very rare. Under these circumstances, never. And the fact that we're seeing one of the most watched TV personalities, an NBC Today morning show host, living it out is unprecedented. Today, Savannah Guthrie gave her first interview with details about what she's dealing with and what they have learned that we hadn't heard until now.
There was no wander off, and the doors were propped open.
Yeah.
And there was blood on the front doorstep. And the Ring camera had been yanked off. Her phone was there, and her purse was there, and all her things. And it just didn't make any sense. Who took an 84-year-old woman in the dead of night in her pajamas with no shoes, without her medicine? This little person.
When you talk about the cruel speculation, the whispers, the innuendo that it was somebody in your family, how did you weather that?
It's unbearable.
Yeah.
And it piles pain upon pain. There are no words. No one took better care of my mom than my sister and brother-in-law. I believe the 2 notes that we received, that we responded to, I tend to believe those are real.
Really?
I don't know
Yeah.
that it's because she's my mom and somebody thought, oh, that girl, that lady has money, we can make a quick buck. I mean, that would make sense, but we don't know. But yeah, that's probably, which is too much to bear. To think that I brought this to her bedside, that it's because of me. And I just say, I'm so sorry, Mommy. I'm so sorry.
I got to tell you, I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, obviously, it just destroys your heart. And at the same time, I know Savannah's a pro, and I know she's surrounded by people, and I have to assume that the people at NBC News know how careful and how fragile this all is. But I hope she follows the advice that I know that she has given to people over the years, which is take care of yourself, lean on your family, lean on your friends. Do everything you can to cope, because this is all but impossible unless you put everything into it. And it is so powerful and so searing. And we've never really processed anything like this, as a country. So let's discuss that. NewsNation senior national correspondent Brian Entin has been on this from jump for us, right? And I asked for Bill Carter to come in. He's been covering TV even longer than I have, and he understands the history and the context. Fellas, thank you for coming, both of you. Bill, we've never seen an anchor have to project their own personal pain like this. We've talked about people's spouses, their families, different illnesses, sure, but not something like this. What does the moment mean to you?
Well, it's excruciating, clearly. I think what's extraordinary about it is not just that it's a television person, but it's a television person who has a relationship with the audience that not all television people have. The Today Show has always been kind of about a family. They try to create that impression that it's a warm place to be, that you're comfortable there. And I think people have gotten to know her. They feel like they know her. Nancy herself has been on the show. She's been on the show. So the audience kind of connects with her in a different way than I think a lot of other celebrities. So I think they really feel this. I think it's really deep, and as you said, it's unprecedented and extraordinary for someone to have this outpouring of their own emotion like this, which I think really touches people in a genuine way. I think it's absolutely real, the connection that people have with her.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. And you use an interesting word, excruciating, means literally the pain of the cross, okay, to be crucified, which is what this is. When it is your mother, when it is your family like this, it is literally having your heart torn out of you. It is torture. And I would have said, no, I don't buy the mourning thing. Everybody now sees the artificiality. We all see the transparency of TV. It's all phonies. Everybody's a phony. This ain't phony. No. This is a real family going through real pain. And I got to tell you something, Brian, you were so diligent about this. It's so good. And to hear Savannah Guthrie talk about the false allegations about her brother-in-law and how much it hurt her, it really made me realize that that was so much worse than we treated it in the moment, because we treated it like we always do, Brian, which is people make stuff up, get stuff wrong, it happens, everybody's desperate to advance the story. But this hits different now. When you see someone from the business speaking the truth about how painful that is, and you had no business doing it, and you did it anyway for a moment of shine, what does that mean to you as a reporter?
Well, look, I think, you know, when you dive into the family, you realize that Annie and Tommaso live, you know, very close to Nancy, that Tommaso took care of her, which Savannah has also mentioned and people had told me before. So when you were inside the circle, it was just unbelievable that anyone on the outside would think that they were responsible. And even when they went out to the memorial outside Nancy's house together, and, you know, I think Savannah purposely stood between Annie and Tommaso and had her arm around Tommaso. She's trying to show people, look, you're looking in the wrong places here. And the other thing, Chris, is just, you mentioned the emotion of it and watching her. I mean, it's just so unresolved. I mean, so many people have kind of moved on from the story, but 54 days later, and the pain in her eyes is the same that we saw in the days afterwards when she made those videos. I mean, you can tell it's excruciating in that it's impossible for her to move on because she has no idea what happened, and none of us do.
It is the inscrutability of it is maddening, right? We all know the adage, the anticipation of death, the not knowing is the hardest part for families in this. And there is something just so bizarre about it also, Bill, that we don't live it, we cover it. It doesn't happen to us, and we're doing the job. Now, obviously, Savannah hasn't been covering this, God forbid. But I actually believe that this will forever, I believe, as flighty as we are, as fickle as we are, Savannah touched something in people that is as real and fundamental to us as anything in our lives. And I think that will stay, no matter what we learn about Nancy Guthrie or we don't. And I got to tell you, when I really couldn't take it anymore is when they talk about how they realize what they're probably dealing with in this situation. It was too much for me because I wanted them at least to believe there's still a chance. I want them to believe that. I want that for them. I feel that this is different. I don't think this is just another one, and that we'll move on to the next. And I think that Savannah has given people a gift by putting her pain to purpose. And I hope it generates tips. I hope it generates something meaningful. But I also hope she knows what she did for people here, Bill. Do you think it will stand the test of time?
I do. I actually do. And for the reasons I mentioned, you probably know her a little bit. I know her a little bit. I think she's a lovely person. I think she's not a person anybody sits at home and says, well, she's a big celebrity, I don't identify. She's just a person who's lost her mother. I mean, that is incredibly painful. I mean, that's why it's deep. It's deep. It's in all of us. You know, no one wants to conceive of their mother being in a situation like this. So I do think, especially when it remains unresolved, it's unresolved for her and it's unresolved for us. And we don't know what happened to this poor woman and what it's done to this family. It hurts us too. We don't feel good about any of this. It's something that disturbs our normal course of events. that somebody's life was upended in this completely heartless and thoughtless and apparently pointless way.
I hear you. I appreciate you. Your words resonate, and for the right reason. Bill Carter, appreciate you. Brian Entin, you've done great on this. You did the job with respect. You did it with honor, and hopefully we'll get a conclusion here that just shocks the conscience, and that would be amazing. But if not, I don't know Savannah, but I'll tell you what, I've never respected anybody in this business the way I respect her for how she is handling this in a way I know I could not. Gentlemen, be well. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.